There's been a lot of content that has dropped quite recently, and one of the big ones is Content Karen. He dropped another video. And I generally think that Ian is now using his channel to bitch about his former friends. He made a really bad video which manipulates everyone, which I don't think you should be doing, Ian. I don't think you should be doing. I personally think that he can't really make the content like he used to anymore. I think he's just not really up to it. Right now, he is just using his channel to vent about stuff. Maybe it's the things that his wife won't allow him to do, and maybe it's that pent-up frustration that he has that he just does it on his channel now. I do think that in this video, Ian doesn't understand a lot and just rambles and kind of picks things apart just for the sake of it without actually properly putting the context in there. I reckon that Ian thinks that Frogan, Denims, Hassan, all that lot will generally kind of defend him if something bad happens. But we all know that they would drop him so quickly. If Ian doesn't kind of align with their values, it's going to happen, and we're going to see it at some point, and it's going to be really funny. The man that learns empathy probably doesn't know what empathy is at all, and just looked at a magazine and went, oh, I'm just going to fill in this quiz, and then got really addicted to it and was like, man, I have empathy. I have empathy. I kind of think that Ian can't actually understand jokes anymore because he says he's been told that everything isn't funny. And if he laughs at something, then his wife tells him off completely. Now, spoilers. I'm going to give you spoilers in this entire video. Ian doesn't give full context in this video and tries to manipulate everyone again, which makes me think that he thinks his audience is just really stupid.
I was hoping that if I made a video about Ethan, he would act like an adult and he would keep the attacks directed at me and Anissa. Unfortunately, I was wrong in thinking that because Ethan, in a desperate attempt to attack and smear Anissa and I, he started attacking our charity event.
I don't know if you know this, but the last year they lost $250,000. To be charitable, you actually have to give money to charity, Hassan. You have to give money to be charity. It's like a slush fund for them.
Ethan and Hila are well aware that we raised $1.3 million for charity the first year of Creator Clash. The second year we operated at a loss, and I take full responsibility for that. We did band together. The community and the fighters involved ended up raising $175,000 for charity. It's been really disheartening to see how often Ethan will attack Creator Clash through us or attack us through Creator Clash.
Ian and Anissa, masters of putting on an event.
He's reposting random troll accounts that are very easy to vet. If you click on this profile, it has a bunch of Sam Hyde adjacent posts and it just hates Anissa and I. Come on, dude, you're one step away from calling me a cuck. Just take the plunge. He's highlighting this post that equates Creator Clash to a crypto rug pull. He's saying the event is gonna be worse than TanaCon. Can't wait for them to blame us for their failed event. Don't worry, Hila. I'm not going to blame you guys for anything Creator Clash related. I know you're terrified of taking accountability for anything, so that will rest solely on my shoulders. But I can't speak for the internet. The internet might actually blame you guys for it.
I find this really funny because Ian thinks that Ethan talking the truth about how bad Creator Clash 2 did. I'm wondering, does Ian think that because Ethan talked about the truth and the facts that Creator Clash 2 failed, and failed hard, mind you, that it's their fault? When Ethan and Hila probably supported it a lot more than most people, but mainly a lot of people actually talked about it for a while when it dropped. Ian did actually talk about that they lost a lot of money and they never made enough to give to charity. Also, trying to big up your first one, then I don't know why you would do that, as it doesn't really make any sense whatsoever. So why put it in there? It does generally feel that you want kudo points for this. Giving to charity is absolutely amazing, but when you and your wife didn't make any money, what is the point of putting on another event? Now, Ian and his wife said they're going to be leaving Creator Clash. They're stepping down. They have no involvement with this. But I generally think that they still do. I generally think that they have like maybe a small percentage, so they will still make something, even if it's just a stake in the company for coming up with it, or even owning the name. I generally think they have some stake in the company because Ian likes to lie and manipulate. Do we really trust him on this one?
You were triggered by the CPS harassment thing, and then you immediately equated Anissa and I to it. That was sloppy, and that was horrendous, and it was horrendous for us. And now you're doing it again.
I'm gonna watch it live.
Should you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't care. But like, why?
I just don't think, I feel like you're gonna get really emotional and say something you regret.
Well, I've got the button.
Like, I know you don't have a problem taking it head on. But I just feel
of course not, because I know that
you're understandably upset, and I feel like it might be a little.
Should we wait to talk about it, or you want to talk about it?
You should do it off stream. Because I don't know. This escalated initially because we were live and you guys were heated about. I forget what it was.
I just think it might be wise to watch it, think out your thoughts, and respond in a calm way. Because there's no chance that you don't get heated.
I don't need to fucking pre-watch this. I don't need someone else to hold my hand through it. Like, I'm ready to take on anything that these people have to say about me.
Fucking hell, just hearing this is so fucked up because it feels like Ian thinks that Ethan shouldn't feel any sort of emotion and Ethan should just literally just accept it and that is it. It just feels that when stuff like this happens, Ian doesn't want anyone to show any emotion and they should literally keep it bottled up so that nothing can actually go on. Ian here is getting just like his friends. Leave out the context. Ian never mentioned CPS in his first video. How can you make a follow-up hit piece when in your failed attempt at the first one, didn't even mention CPS whatsoever? Are you trying to lie to your audience so you can get them on your side? When Ian here goes over and says, hey, you associate me and my wife with it? How dare you? It's only because you are now getting into bed with the people who would do this. You can't team up with people who hate Ethan and be like, why are we getting hate? Hell, you said Denham's was a good person when she isn't. You can't say that Frogan is an angel when she wished PTSD on American soldiers. You're now with them and you're going to get the same criticism as they would. This video that Ian made is in such bad faith.
The main criticism that I was seeing online with my video from Ethan and Hila is that I didn't mention the CPS call.
There's really just one central point that I want to make here. My good friend Ian, in his hour-long takedown, did not mention one time Child Protective Services. Not one time.
There was not even one mention of CPS.
And a lot of the clips he uses is us fired up from the day that CPS came to us.
So like
without even explaining that at least that's the context, it's pretty cowardly.
I wonder why I wouldn't mention the CPS call. Could it be that the CPS call happened the same day that you were shit-talking me and I didn't have any chance to defend myself? You just immediately, in the same podcast right next to each other, said, CPS call was very traumatic. And then you said, fuck Ian and Anissa. And you linked those together, you kind of layered those flavors, and then Anissa and I got a bunch of harassment. We had nothing to do with the CPS call. What are all these fucking comments on your Reddit saying like, it happened because of the CPS call? I don't entirely blame your audience for getting confused because number one, it's a fucking cult. And number two, you can't even get the timeline straight. So if anyone's watching your dumbass, their brain is also gonna get scrambled.
Be friends as long as they're getting something out of it. So again, he's not showing the context. What was the okay, I'll play this part. Did you guys ever find the context of what I was talking about here? Because I feel like I wasn't even talking about him. I could be wrong. I just don't remember ever saying like, if I did say that,
I thought you were talking about them, about Anissa and Ian in that clip.
That's the same clip of
It's all the
when
part of the
CPS
same
was
clip.
called.
Yeah.
Same clip.
It's part of the same conversation.
You completely wiped your brain of what happened during the CPS stream. That's not my fucking fault. That's no one else's fault but yours.
The reason why you didn't mention the CPS call at all, Ian, is because you had a narrative. You had that thought that if you could show that a man is crashing out, then you can get your point across. The Weasel thought it was fine and dandy to paint Ian in a bad light, be really bad faith, and hope that Ethan and Hila packed up everything so that Ian and his wife could feel good that they did the bidding of their brand new friends. They thought this would be like the best thing for them to prove their loyalty to Hassan and co. You could have talked about the CPS thing, but now people are bagging on you and rightfully so. And now you're just talking about it. I mean, you could probably talk about the other things like the 2 skulls that Ethan and Hila got, but I bet you won't at all in this entire video. All I see with Ian is that Ian and his wife got a sniff of pushback, talked in a negative light that they can't handle. They think it's the worst thing in the world, even though it was mild. It's like they could be in a store and if someone picked up the last loaf of bread that Ian and his wife likes, then they would call the manager and get them kicked out, even though that person has the right to that item. It's so fucking pathetic that Ian is coming on here screaming at him and being all like, boo-hoo, boo-hoo. I think that Ian doesn't know what happened with the call and doesn't understand it. And then when he's asked, everyone is just like, nah, you'll be fine. Just go on and talk about it. You'll be fine. it's all Ethan's fault. It's all Ethan's fault. Don't worry. And Ian just accepts it.
All I wanted for you to do was say the bare minimum of like, hey, this is fucked up. This is not true about CPS, whatever, like the bare minimum. It came up because they were talking about it on their fucking podcast. By the way, they're the ones that like started this conversation by talking about it on the podcast. Be like, hey, I'm not getting involved.
I think that was their response after you guys initially called them out.
This is what I was talking about. You cannot have something terrible happen, be like, yes, let's make some content, and then shit talk your friends of 8 years.
I'm so fired up, I don't even know what to do with myself, which is why I'm crying. On the other hand, I don't know if that's a good state to be in life.
That's the kind of spitting.
And a lot of the clips he uses is us fired up from the day that CPS came to us.
For anyone confused about the timeline, Ethan was talking shit about us on his Instagram before any CPS shit. He was also talking shit about us on his podcast before any CPS visit. On March 7th, CPS visits Ethan and Hila, and that same day, they decide, let's do our podcast, and let's have the topic be the CPS visit and how distraught we are about that. And then right next to that, right after it, you guys talk about me and Anissa. But you don't just talk about us. You shit talk us, and you imply that we're friends with people who are doing this, who are the ones who are harassing you.
Ian is such a fucking liar about this, where he's saying that they are friends with the people that called CPS, etc., etc. In that short amount of time, Ian and his wife easily could have come out and said something. Hey, the house is clean. It's nothing like that. We've actually been there and it's all okay. But rather than stick up for your friends, you get in bed with the others, and when you finish cuddling up with them and spooning all of them, you jump out of bed and do a Fortnite dance to celebrate joining the side that wants to fuck over your friend. But that just wasn't it. Check out this video from Papa Gut.
7th, CPS visits Ethan and Hila, and that same day, they decide, let's do our podcast, and let's have the topic be the CPS visit. Right after it, you guys talk about me and Anissa, but you don't just talk about it.
But like what you just showed us was that like there was like 2 days that you guys had to say something publicly. They're not a continuous harassment campaign. Your editor is like harassing them. Then the call to CPS happens. I'm assuming this is when we found out about it. What? Then Ian shits on Idubbbz. Okay, there's something off here. I have to. Okay, all right, hold on. All right. They give it 5,000 Defiant. The problem is that he isn't acknowledging that Ethan was getting called a bad parent before the call itself had happened. Yeah, that's true. Wait, hold on a second. Hold on. Wait, no, wait, this doesn't make any sense. Wait. The CPS getting called was not the start of the event. He's trying to lie and reframe the situation as if, well, how do we know the CPS just got called? How are we supposed to know all that? Because this was an ongoing thing. Idubbbz was talking about, Ethan was talking about this for how long before this episode? What are you talking about? Like, it started with them putting in this weird lie that he abuses his children, basically, and they roll around in shit. That was your friend who was doing it, or your wife's friend who was doing it. And then it carried over into CPS actually getting called. Who fucking cares when CPS got called? Oh my God, this guy's a loser. He just lied outright. He lied. He tried to manipulate the time frame. This guy's a dishonest piece of dog shit.
You've seen how both Ethan and Hila are parents and how they do their parenting. So why aren't you standing up for that? Or is it just that you wanted to pause the friendship and that was it? What is it, Ian? What do you want? If you don't want this much drama, then you should have stayed silent. Lying and changing the events that happened is so manipulative. With lying about this and all the other things as well, how can we take anything else that you've been saying honestly? Ian is a massive piece of shit. It shows what sort of character he has and how he's lied about his empathy. Ethan said something that Ian didn't like, and then he ran to make a video with all the people that Ethan doesn't like, and they all have a problem with Ethan. It shows that Ian is a little bitch.
Now, what Ethan does, instead of taking any responsibility for sharing too much on his live stream, is that he decides to attack specific creators like Idubbbz and say she was the source of the CPS call because her chat was reacting to Ethan and saying, wow, this is concerning.
Is on her platform right now advocating for our children to be forcibly removed from us by Child Protective Services.
The problem with this CPS thing is that Ethan has proven to be a manipulative piece of shit. So when he calls on me to defend him, what the fuck am I meant to do? I don't trust you, and I'm glad I didn't trust you, because in your video defending yourself, you used a video that takes context from like 3 different places and combines them to make it seem like someone is coordinating an attack on you.
Love made a good point. You said, is this every comment? I believe this is a live feed of the chat. This isn't edited.
What about the top right? I thought these were
no,
selected.
It's this. I think when you full screen it, no, this is an edit. It's a cutout of the full chat. It's just enlarged.
Oh, really?
Over the screen, yeah.
They're different, I think.
Yeah,
it's not timed. It's not timed the same way.
But it sounds like based on this clip, you knew that it was bullshit and you just went with it anyway. Ethan Klein uses this very deceptively edited video that is just like doing this smooth scroll to make it seem like that's all of Denim's chat. But that's not what it is.
The way that Ian is trying to say that Ethan tried to make this look really bad by editing the chats and all is weird, mainly, as it's all from the same video. If the video is there, you can check it out and look for yourself. But mainly, it's all from the same video. I really don't know why he's being such bad faith in all of this. Also, Ethan tells you about this, what is happening, what they've done. So this isn't like we're naughty. Also, I don't get why Ian is lying again, or is it just to try and make Ethan look really bad? Ethan says that they edited the video so you can see the chat, and I think Denim's actually confirms that the chats are all correct. So this isn't like you're a naughty, you've been caught for lying. It makes me think, does Ian just listen to these clips, or does he just write the script and then place the clips in randomly and then just uploads them? Ian is so manipulative in all of this. He thinks this is a gotcha moment when it clearly isn't. Ian is such a fucking snake.
That is the back and forth I'm describing. You might have thought, we were just saying that Ian and Anissa are bad friends. Well, guess what? We didn't take it that way.
Our POV is like, fuck everybody, and I don't want to hear any excuses. You're not my friend, and you never were, and you never will be. You never will be.
What we took it as is Ethan and Neil are shit-talking us. They just implied that we are okay with people using CPS as harassment, and now all of their fans are brigading us. So I am going to respond in kind and make a content cop. So yes, that is what the cycle of harassment looks like.
Man, Ian is such a cry bully. I bet when they saw this, Ian and his wife were like, how can we get back at him and hurt him even harder? I know, let's go make a video with all the people who hate him and lie about him. Don't give out any context of what happened and make Ethan look bad and then keep going on about it. When you look at the first part of Content Cop, it must have taken some time to put it all together and also to fund it too. I imagine that Ian and his wife are the type of people to call corporate all the time to get someone fired because they didn't get their coffee order right the first time, and they want to make that person's life a living hell, but then follow them to the next job and do the same over and over again. And when they realize that they were in the wrong, they just double down and keep at it until the time they slowly walk away.
You're not the biggest victim on the internet, Ethan. Other people can experience a horrible fucking time. And guess what? They're not getting this other benefit, which is 26,000 viewers. You're getting a lot of money and a lot of content, a lot of things that you care about from these beefs and from this harassment. There are a lot of people that you've just bullied and they have nothing to gain out of it. Frogan isn't making a bag from this. She's not getting content out of this. You're attacking her in relentless ways and endorsing so much worse harassment than what even you send her way.
Oh God, this is so fucking stupid. Frogan is getting paid from all of this. She's a content creator too. She makes money off Twitch from people donating or a deal that she has, whatever. She gets money from this. I think Ian just completely forgets that she makes content as well. So I don't know where he thinks she's not getting the money from any of this. Also, the reason why she gets so much hate is because she says things like this.
Why don't you go take a trip to Home Depot and buy some rope? Who are you to think that your words being leaked are that powerful? I think him and Ethan have like a father-son relationship, and it's like one of those things where like you don't want to disappoint your father, so you kind of like bend over. 9/11 baking stream with Raph and Capri. We'll make the Twin Towers out of a stacked cake, and we'll make an airplane, and we'll recreate 9/11. I hope you get PTSD.
Ian just generally thinks that whatever Frogan says is okay, and that is really fucking unhinged. If she's going to be all edgy all the time, then she should be able to take criticism. If she can dish it out and can't take it, then don't say it at all.
Also, on top of Ethan and Neela constantly victimizing themselves, I did notice that as soon as we didn't immediately jump to Ethan and Hila's defense, Ethan took that to heart and he started to make that his employees' problems. Instead of just, sucking it up and taking on himself, he decided to imply that Lena is going to have a problem with that.
I think that if Ian and his wife were in some sort of trouble, then they would want their friends to come to their aid. And I have a feeling that if Ethan didn't say anything, then Ian would still have made a content cop on them. If you don't support me, then I'll try and rip you a new one. If you don't say anything to us, then we'll take it you're against us. I can see that this would actually happen, and it's quite sad. The fact that Lena did have problems that you, Ian, caused, you can't start saying that there were problems with his staff where you have caused these problems. You snaked Ethan, and then when this dropped, she had to go to the bathroom because she was having a panic attack. And all you did was text her and be like, whoops. And apparently the reason why all of this happened is because Ian's community was saying weird things to her, and it caused a massive argument. So using this to weaponize your fan base to go after Ethan and Hila is fucking weird.
Weird.
You're just a cockwomble, Ian, a massive cockwomble. So kind of wrapping up this video, I generally think Ian is a really bad person. He's the type of person that has learnt nothing, but says that he's got empathy when he clearly doesn't. And he is just like the person that would snake you the second he can. And I think that he is a bad friend to all. I would stay way clear from them because all of this that we've been talking about just makes Ian look like a horrible, evil, nasty little troll. And the fact is, all of this is going to keep going on until the end of time. This will not stop whatsoever until either Ian goes, yeah, I give up, or it comes to massive blows later on in a boxing ring or something. I generally absolutely despise Ian for what he has done. Everyone has this entire image of how he used to be this amazing person for making content cops on people, but now all he's making is content Karen because he uses this as a therapy lesson. I don't think he can make videos anymore, and I think his context is completely out, and he just lies all the time. He's a manipulative little weasel. But I am going to leave it there. What are your thoughts on this? Let me know down below in the comments and let's discuss. And while you're down there, why not hit the like button and the subscribe button? Because I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And with that, I'm going to bring the video to an end.